It's important to know how to punctuate quotes. So I want to go over this real quickly with you. And by quotes, I mean quoted material. Something that has been copied word from another source, whether you heard it or whether it was written down. So let's take a look at the two examples that are in your midterm review. The first and second one here are written on the board. And the first thing I want you to do is I want you to underline the signal phrase. So let's figure out the signal phrase. The first one is Smith's article stated. Okay, there's the noun. Smith stated the verb. In the second one, it is the science teacher said. You have the science teacher, that's the noun, and then said is the verb. So those are our two signal phrases. Once you have done that, then you can start to figure out what was said, and how to put those quotation marks around it. So let me show you the first example. What did Smith's article state? And here it begins with the raise. So you do comma, quotation mark, capital T. Go to the very end of the quote. It goes period inside and quotation marks at the end. Now, I have to tell you, when I get to grading, if I can't tell whether the comma is inside or outside the quotation marks, I'm just marking it wrong. So you want to make sure that it goes comma before the quotation marks, period before the quotation marks. Now that period applies to quotes without a parenthetical citation. It's different once you get that parenthetical citation into the mix. Now this next one is a bit more complicated. This signal phrase actually interrupts the quote. So watch how this quotation marks work. Quotation marks, radium, comma, quotation marks. That's the first word in the quoted material. What is the actual quote? Radium is one of the chemical elements. That is the actual quote. So it goes radium, the science teacher said, comma, quotation marks, is one of the chemical elements, period, quotation marks. Notice that the comma goes before the quotation marks, both times here, and a period goes before the quotation marks here. Because the quote is radium is one of the chemical elements, you don't capitalize the S, you guys. It's right in the middle. This signal phrase interrupts. So we're still right in the middle of the actual quote. You don't capitalize it. Whereas with this one, this begins the quote, and therefore it needs to be capitalized. All right. I want you, when you get to this midterm, to make sure you watch how to punctuate. But by the way, it's not just for the midterm. It's also for when you go to write this upcoming research paper. You're going to be including quotes, so make sure you use this as a guideline on how to incorporate signal phrases and punctuate those quotes correctly. Okay?